All right, well, what a career renaissance it has been for Jourdain. A little bit of some tricky tests early on in his UFC career, but he has absolutely emerged as a contender. And you knew when the UFC returned to Canada for the first time in a long time at UFC 297, this featherweight warrior was going to be prominently featured. I would argue, in terms of our fighter meetings, he is as thoughtful as any featherweight in the division. He's a better human being even than he is a fighter. But this is a finisher. He has a crowd-pleasing style. And once again, a huge test in front of Jourdain here tonight. Well, if you hear the ladies shrieking, that's because T-City is making his way to the octagon. The former title challenger, Brian Ortega. And a lot of people, DC, do believe for this jiu-jitsu practitioner, his ceiling is championship, and eventually he'll get it.
Yes, the ladies go crazy for T-City. Even his video game character is the best-looking guy out here. Brian Ortega is a jiu-jitsu guy. But as you saw in the Frankie Edgar fight, he has now developed striking to match. That was a massive uppercut that floored a guy that had never been finished before. So as long as he continues to improve, John, he will realize a UFC championship before it's all said and done.
All class outside the octagon with his Brian Ortega foundation, but T-City has got his eyes fixed on the prize. Title eliminator of sorts here tonight. Our tale of the tape for this featherweight championship fight. We send it inside the octagon. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Featherweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, presenting the challenger, Charles Jourdain. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Featherweight Champion of the world, Brian T-City Ortega!
So Jourdain, third man in there for this one.
Ready.
Well, who would have thought 5 years ago in a straight kickboxing match that Brian T-City Ortega could hang, if not beat, most of the best featherweights in the world. Certainly in our fighter meeting this week, he talked a lot about striking, but if this fight does hit the canvas, decided advantage, of course, to T-City. Ortega's uppercut to the head, that one though blocked by the defense. All right, wow, with the early action here as he gets a takedown. I'm not saying I would have stuffed that shot, but for the kickboxer on the other side, you gotta provide more resistance than that, I would think.
You gotta provide more. You gotta give him something.
Oh, what do we got here? Looks like an arm triangle attempt. Oh, look out, folks, that is tight.
It looks like it's getting going. Oh, that's in, that's in. He's bridging.
Oh, no way, he got out.
He was able to create enough space to get his chest back flat on the mat and defend that arm triangle. Unbelievable.
Just over 3 minutes to go in our first round.
He's doing a really good job putting himself in position.
Good work from the top here by T-City, Brian Ortega.
And there you go, again, half guard. Oh, he's going triangle again.
So what a win for him here tonight. He gets it done and gets it done by way of submission. He told us this week, I got to keep these judges out of it. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely. He is a phenomenal grappler. He said that he held the advantage there, and that would show itself in the fight. He proved that, and he gets a submission victory. Amazing.
All right, let's take a look back at the replay as he gets it done by submission tonight, champ.
Just watch how slowly he approaches the submission, though. He never rushes. He takes his time, but it's his trickiness. It's his ability to trick people into going to the floor with him that puts them in danger and finishing fights.
And here once more, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 51 seconds of the very first round. For the winner by submission, and still the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Brian T-City Ortega!
All right, so there he is, came in the champion, and he will exit that way as well. The UFC's king at 145 pounds. This dude might be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.